Animals don't belong to us. They're not objects to be eaten, to be worn, or to be used in any way. What will it take for you to see the world through our eyes? We're asking you to open them today.
Many of you wonder why I'm so passionate about animal rights, but this is something that made me cry this morning. To see this poor innocent animal tied up like that and the face covered, forced to walk in circles. Every morning when I look at my Instagram, my heart weeps for these animals. I cannot understand how anyone else can see this and still think that it's okay to use animals as objects. The only way that we can possibly change our world is to make sure in all of our laws that they are not treated as objects, but that they are treated as the sentient beings that they truly are. I urge you to please open your heart and look at the world the way that animal rights activists do.
Please subscribe to this channel. Press the notification bell. Help me to get them out of hell. Can you imagine spending your whole life in a cage? A wild animal is meant to run free, to smell the ground, to feel the earth beneath their feet, to look at the sky. Imagine your whole life in a cage like this, where you go insane, complete and utter torture. Now, many people look into the eyes of animals and they say, oh, they look okay. But you don't understand their facial expressions. They don't show emotions the way that we do, but they suffer in the same ways that we do. Never buy fur, and always help us to speak out on behalf of the animals. This innocent being will be anally electrocuted, a prod stuck into him or her, and murdered after a life of hell. Please join us. Help us save them. Here's another post. Is your bacon worth their agony? 200 at a time, piled into trucks, in boiling hot conditions or in freezing cold conditions. They do not feed them or allow them any water, often for days before, because they don't want them to throw up in the trucks and they don't want them to pee or poo in there. This is after a lifetime of hell in Holocaust-like conditions. The first time that they see the sky is through a tiny window. How can you not see the suffering that I see? On Instagram, you can follow Karma and Kale. It's another site that shows you what they go through, and also at TarionP. Please help us to save them. Please stop eating sausages and bacon and ham. Have compassion. If these were dogs or cats, you would surely care. They're pigs. They are no different. They are so beat up and bruised, and pigs are just animals that just want to live. They just want to play outside and be free. They've committed no crimes. They don't deserve to be behind bars. Please help us to help them. This mother cow is chasing after her baby, who's being taken away on a motorcycle, risking her own safety on a busy road full of moving vehicles,
The mother keeps running and running for her baby. This is what a mother's love looks like. On dairy farms, calves are separated from their moms, so the milk that's naturally meant to nourish the baby can be sold to the humans instead. By consuming dairy, you're paying for the destruction of motherhood. Please stop drinking dairy. Go vegan for the animals. The account on YouTube and on TikTok called Called Me Chris made fun of me for defending these innocent beings. I ask her to watch this and to become vegan from now on.
This is really interesting information here, Abby. Basically, you can see here that there's been 45,100 birds have been placed in this shed that we're going to go into. The birds are 28 days old.
Yeah.
They're going to have a life cycle of 43 days. We know that so far, in the 28 days that they've been alive, 1,053 have died, 1,478 have been culled. So you combine those two together, it's 2,531 birds. I mean, this is 2,500 birds just in this shed.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's another shed here, and we've got another 8 on site. It's just, the numbers are just incredible.
Yeah, you just can't even wrap your head around it, can you?
So what's your first impressions?
Yeah, just completely overwhelmed.
There's no space. Look at it over there. Look at the size of this place. Look at all of this.
It's so tightly packed. It's so enormous in here. You see how oversized their bodies are, this one.
This is typical. So you get them where they're not very active, are they? They eat, they sit down.
Yeah,
they eat,
yeah,
they sit down.
They don't even look like they're comfortably sitting, like this one here. I mean, they can't lie down properly, they can't sit comfortably, they look so uncomfortable. And it's just the most unnatural thing. It's so horrible.
Everything's fully automated here, so you see these pipes and these tubes, and they come from the silos outside, and the feed just comes automatically down these tubes and into this big sort of feeding mechanism here, and this is what they're eating.
It's just another example how it's just a factory. It's not how people imagine a farm to be. If you speak to people about what they think a chicken farm would be like, no one would say this.
So each of the chickens is probably worth about 3 pence to the farmer.
Yeah.
When the farmer's only making 3 pence out of each bird, it's impossible for the farmer to really give proper care and attention and proper welfare to the birds. It just doesn't make financial sense.
Is 3p all their life is like worth, and they have this horrible existence for the sake of 3p, and it's just insane.
How do you feel about the animals in here and the lives that they have compared to the animals that you spend time with at the Retreat Animal Sanctuary?
Compared to seeing them all happy and running around at the retreat, just here there's nothing for them. There's nothing for them to do. There's no enrichment for them. There was a little one who came and started pecking my boots and stuff, and it's probably the most interesting thing they've ever seen in their lives. At the retreat, or any sanctuary, they just move around, and you see them as individuals, and all their little personalities come out, and they just want to be loved, and they know that they will be. So, there is just no comparison at all. I hope in the near future this will just be. This just won't exist anymore. I think more and more people definitely are kind of switching up and realising that they don't need to eat these animals, and you can just live without it quite happily.
I'd like to think that at some point in the future, people will look back on this time in history and look at how we are treating animals now, and they'll be horrified.
Definitely.
Over the past few months, I've visited 4 or 5 different farms, and typically we found a number of dead chickens as we've walked around. In this particular scenario, we haven't found any. Yeah, the animals are in a bad way, but we haven't found any. So it'd be tempting to think that actually this farm's okay, but we've already looked at the worksheet. There's 2,500 birds have died already in the last 28 days. And we know that about 4 or 5 hours ago, they've been in here, they've cleared out all of the dead bodies. So what I would suggest is let's go and have a look in the wheelie bins, because I think we'll see the evidence there.
God. The smell. God.
Please join us. Help us save them. Subscribe to this channel, press the notification bell, and tell us that you will help us get them out of hell. Thank you.